Danny Alberto, and I am running the New Bedford Half Marathon today in honor of the April Flower Foundation in memory of Robert Nunes. And my preparation for today's race has been to not think about it and just run.
I'm a junior at Voc Tech, and we're actually going to do a relay for the second year in a row now. Last year we did it with Coach Racine. This year she can't be with us because she's out being deployed, but this year we have another group of kids that are going to do it again.
Hi racers, good luck today in your endeavors and make sure you stay well hydrated. There's many water stops along the route. Good luck.
Welcome to the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. Alongside Larry Finity, Ahmed Pereira, it'll be our pleasure to bring you this wonderful race once again, 13.1 miles. Larry, first things first, how have you been?
Very good, very good. I enjoyed listening to you, not criticize the officials.
Yes.
It's the score at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about your officials later on off air, okay? But let's talk about the race here today. 13.1 miles. First of all, a half marathon, one that has been around for many years, one that people still use for their training run to go to the Boston Marathon.
Absolutely. It's 5 weeks before the Boston Marathon, and it was designed to be something that replaced the Eagles Road Race, which was a 30-kilometer. In New Bedford, and went through Acushnet and came back. And it's something that people will run and then have 3 or 4 weeks off for Boston.
And then when they get to go to do that, it's their favorite day on Patriots Day. So we'll all be watching that. The times here are amazing to me still. Of course, Jeff Smith still holds the record there with just over an hour running 13.1 miles. That is just insane.
It is. And Jeff always reminds everybody that he has the course record, and it will never ever be broken because we changed the course.
That's right, exactly so. We had a little bit of fog here this morning to start things out. The fog is burning up here, so that's the good news. Bad news is still a little wet on the race course itself. That going to really have any effect on the runners?
That shouldn't be a problem at all. I think the wind will help the runners when they turn around down at South Rodney French and head north. It'll push them, it'll hold them back a little going down Rockdale Avenue, but there's a downhill there. So it really, it'll work itself out.
We got folks covering the men and the women today. We got Jim Marshall and Joe Cabral in the various trucks. I believe Jim is doing the women and Joe is doing the men, but if not, we'll straighten that out later. But they'll be on the course along with some other folks, and we'll have all that action for you. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go look down at the start-finish line as the runners get set for the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jim Marshall of the New Bedford Cable Network, and I am on the lead women's truck along with my friend, once again, Tom Dedarian. He's the coach of the Greater Boston Track Club, also a runner and a running historian, and it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming.
Delighted to be here.
It is, first things first, I have to say that earlier this week, it was looking like rain, and we seemed to dodge a bullet because it's looking pretty nice out here right now.
Well, every year I fear the great St. Patrick's Day blizzard. A giant nor'easter coming, big waves crashing, driving rain, and none of that's happening. And I presume it's because of you.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. What are we looking at today, Tom? We've got, it's going to be an interesting race. I think it always is. But what are you looking at from some of the leaders here?
Well, I have talked earlier today with Jessie Carden, who came from Michigan as part of the Hanson Group. Now, she is from Massachusetts, went to Westfield State, was a teacher here, was a member of my club, and I was coaching her. Then after COVID, she just quit her teaching and decided to turn pro and train full-time with no distractions.
2 years ago, she was the second place finisher here.
And it certainly has paid off for her. And she's been running very well in shorter races, and she's coming here as her preparation for Boston.
How about some of the other runners that you're going to be keeping an eye on here today?
Well, the field is wide open after Jessie. I'm not sure who's going to be able to contend with her.
And you and I have seen over the last couple of years, interestingly enough, that the race usually, last year was when we saw the break at 8 miles by the pack, and then when Jesse ran, it was the 6 mile mark. So we're going to see some movement, I would think, during the race, in the middle of the race.
Yeah, I suspect we'll be surprised, but that's why we have races. If we knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't have to have the race.
Anna Osser is the defending champion. I don't know if she's participating today, but she won last year's race.
I didn't see her name on the list.
So we are going to have a good day today. Ethan Lopez is our videographer. We'll be on the women's truck, keeping you up to date. We'll see you at about the 2 mile mark, a little after. That's where we'll pick up the first lead woman, and we will join you at that point in time.
It's not every day we get a chance to talk to race royalty, but today we have that opportunity. Jeff Smith, he is the record holder here for the New Bedford Half Marathon. And by the way, he has a record that can never be broken. Have you ever told anybody that, Jeff?
Oh, I use it all the time.
Wait, Larry's over there going, you're telling me.
And he does.
Is it true, Larry?
He tells me all the time, he says, I have the course record, but I will have it forever. And I thought 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because we changed the course.
There you go. Now, what's the big change on the course from that time to when you won it?
Back in the day, we used to go into the fort and we'd run around all the zigzagging around inside the fort to get the miles in. And then when you came out, you came down, took a right turn, sharp right down Union, and then a left turn. And it was a great finish coming down here.
Yes.
But, I mean, it was sharp turns. Now you've taken out all the turns in the fort, and you've taken out this right turn and this left turn, and you come down all the way around. And a beautiful finish. It's a great finish now. If you get the right people, you could kill this course.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, everybody liked that first few years of that kind of finish. Now it's a little convoluted, but we had to remeasure the course and everything. But so many turns that Jeff took in Fort Rodman before he headed back out again, he's reminded me of all those turns that he had to make, which would slow anybody down.
Well, that's true. I was just wondering, you had to do this before having a GPS with you, too.
Oh, well, there's no such thing as a GPS, you know.
He just followed the lead car.
Yeah, and I done that as a training run.
Oh, yeah,
it was easy enough to do.
I'm sure he did.
How about weather conditions like we have today? A little bit of a breeze here, the fog finally burning off. How's that going to affect our race today?
I mean, it's better than 20 below. I think it's. I love to run in this weather. So, 50, mid-50s is a nice temperature. The only down point is the 25 mile an hour winds. I think that's forecast. And which way is it going to get you? Is it going to get you going into the fort, or is it going to get you coming out the fort?
Probably coming out of the fort, but you probably won't get it right behind your back.
Yeah.
It'll be a glancing blow.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You can't train for the wind, I guess.
No matter how hard you try, Larry?
No, but there might be some packing of people if they feel that they want to wait a little bit longer before they take off, as people like Jeff can do when they want to.
Joe Cabral and Jim Dandino with you. The New Bedford Half Marathon for 2025 about to begin. So welcome. Stay tuned with us for a race that, Jim, is going to be a little bit unique.
Yes, that's correct. The 46th annual, we have a beautiful day here, a little bit warmer than the last few days. A little bit of a, looks like an easterly wind here, but I think we have a wide open field today. We won't have that runaway, I don't believe, that we had in the last couple of years with Grant O'Connor and Matt McDonald. So it's going to be an exciting day for sure, Joe.
Yeah, so we'll have to keep our eye on the runners right from the very beginning. And where you're saying it's a wide open field, you'd anticipate that there will probably be a group of runners for quite some time staying together in a pack, and it'll be an exciting race, I think, because of that, since it is so wide open.
Yeah, that's correct. I expect a big group, maybe after like 3.5, 4 miles, once we turn onto Rockdale, then maybe someone tries to make a little bit of a break, but I think it's going to be a big group for quite a while today, so it's going to be an exciting day for sure.
Real nice day. So runners should not be hampered at all by the conditions. It might be a little bit windy along the waterfront, but I think we'll have a great race.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be a great day today in New Bedford.
We welcome you to the Great American Road Race, the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. As you know, for many years, this race has been under the directorship of the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick. So please welcome from the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, your race director, Mr. Dan McCarthy.
Hey, thank you everybody for being here today. We couldn't do this without you. You're running a road race in a city that is so prepared to have you and welcome you and share in the excitement of the day. We, the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, are a 100% volunteer nonprofit. So you're running with us to help us do what we do in the community. So thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here with us today. Thank you. And here's Andy, announces on the run.
Thank you, Dan. And again, thank you to the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick. And of course, we give a tremendous shout out to the entire city of New Bedford, all its workers, all its staff, all its volunteers, and everyone who has once again opened up its city to the Great American Road Race to the Bedford Half Marathon. And that is why it is indeed an honor to introduce the Honorable Mayor of New Bedford, Mr. John Mitchell.
All right, everybody. You guys are looking good out there. I have a few quick words of thanks. I know you're all warmed up, and I don't want you to have an opportunity to cool down just yet. So I want to thank, first off, Dan McCarthy and the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick and all the volunteers for all the work they do for months and months and months this year and every year to get this race ready and to make it a quality experience for the runners as well as for the residents of our cities. Let's hear it for them. They do a fabulous job. Dan, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody with the city who played a role in this. I want to recognize City Council President Shane Burgo, who was three city councilors, John Oliver, and was four councilors, Jerry Baptiste, who are here up on the stage. I want to thank all the police, fire, EMS, EMA, and DPI employees who worked very hard to get this course ready. The course is in really good shape, as you are about to experience. Thank you to Vineyard Wind and all the other sponsors for stepping up this year and making it happen. You guys have a great day ahead of you. It is nice and warm today. Of course, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, and I can't help but remember that the old Irish saying, may the wind always be at your back. That's about half true today. It'll be at your back about half the time. And when it isn't, pay it no mind. You're gonna have a great time, and when you come back, jump into one of our stores or restaurants, patronize them, have a great time in downtown New Bedford. We're going to be out there cheering you on. Have a great experience today, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. While tens of thousands of people have crossed the finish line at the Great American Road Race over the decades, we always like to recognize one runner in particular. In 1985, he set the record with a 1:01:58 as we recognize Jeff Smith, the 1985 winner and a Boston Marathon winner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you to please remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. For many years, the Miss Massachusetts Scholarship Program has honored us by presenting us with a national anthem singer, and this year is no exception. Please welcome an honor student from Old Rochester High School, Miss New Bedford teen, Bree LeFevre.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Reed LaFavor. All right, let's get ready to start the Great American Road Race, the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have a little bit of a tailwind heading out, but Zach's going right to the front here with JP on his left right there. But Zach is wearing the yellow cap, number 1537. He led the Olympic trials for well over 20 miles last year in the marathon. Again, he's run 1:01:25, but he is already trying to break away this race. Not even a half mile in, so he's putting the hammer down already. So he's obviously looking for a good effort here. He's up in Boston this week, just checking out the course prior to the Boston Marathon in 5 weeks' time. But yeah, Zach is certainly taking the pace up pretty hot here. So it looks like he might be under 4:40 the first mile here. So he's moving along very quickly right now.
So as you mentioned, Jim, runners here today, especially the ones that have made their way all the way from Michigan to be part of this race, are really trying to prepare in advance of the Boston Marathon, obviously simulate the conditions somewhat here in New England, though they're from Michigan, so I would think the conditions be somewhat familiar to them. But wind, things you will see certainly here in the Northeast at the Boston Marathon, part of the race here today, though the temperature is extremely mild compared to what we've experienced in prior years.
Yeah, for sure. It's certainly a little bit warmer today. We're creeping up on 60 miles an hour, 60 degrees Fahrenheit today, so a little bit warmer than we've had for the last few years. But I don't think that's going to affect these guys too much. It's still relatively cool with the wind, and these guys have trained and raced in all kinds of conditions. But right now, it's Zach Panning. He's probably got about a 15-meter lead right now, and we haven't even come up to the 3/4 mile mark yet. So certainly Zach is taking this out, and that's the way he runs. He runs aggressively.
Okay, Zach Panning, one of the runners that we highlighted prior to today's race, in first place here early on, leading the pack, and really a group of 4 separating themselves from the majority of the runners here already, and as you mentioned, not even at the initial mile marker. So strong performance here early on from Zach Panning. I'm not sure how familiar he is with this race. Do you know if he's run this race in prior years, Jim?
No, he has never run this race, but his teammate, who's presently in third place right now, JP Flavin, has. So I'm sure he's been told about this race and what the undulation, the hills are, and what this course entitles. But again, he trains on all kinds of surfaces. I mean, he's run 27:51 for 10,000 meters. So he's got the wheels, and he just got a lot of talent. Trains hard. 130 miles a week, 140 miles a week, grinding each and every week. And as we approach the mile mark here, yeah, he's on the 4:40 here. So We're going through at 4:37, so that's our fastest mile here in years. But I think the tailwind has something to do with that. But he continues to plod along here, and he looks great.
Joining us this morning, well, it's the man about town, Dan McCarthy. He is the guy who puts this all together with the Friendly Sons of New Bedford for the New Bedford Half Marathon. Dan, good to see you once again.
Ed, the pleasure is all mine, my friend, all mine.
Nice start to the day. The race went off without a hitch.
So far, so good. Fingers crossed. We're gonna, it's a beautiful day. The weather couldn't be better, and I think that the runners are gonna have an amazing experience. The city has really gone above and beyond to make sure that the course is cleaned up, crisp, and fast. I'm just worried someone could set a course record today. Oh, I'd have to pay a bonus.
I know how you would hate to do that, yes. I know we saw Jeff Smith a little while ago, and he told us, yes, just remember, I still hold the course record that no one can beat because it was on the old course.
Old course.
And he reminds you of this all the time, he said.
I'll tell you, and I love Jeff, and he probably could win today. Do you know, people, Jeff Smith was a world-class talent. We were so fortunate to have him here locally. He holds the course record. He was a 2-time Boston Marathon winner. And I'm honored to say he's a great friend. So it's always exciting. And I know he gives us a little ribbing whenever he thinks someone has a shot at breaking his record because he's like, well, it's the old course.
The old course, and that's it right there. One of the things today, though, we're going to have wind gusts here, 18 to 25 miles an hour at different points in time. And that depends just on where you are on the course, how that's going to affect the race.
And it really will be, at mile 8 is the first time you're going to be fully exposed. When you get on West Rodney French, you're going to be running right into the wall of wind. And sadly, because of the way the wind's blowing today, after you get South Rodney French onto East Rodney French, it's still going to be coming across you. So you think that you're out of the woods, you're not. But we're rewarded. This race course has a great downhill section from mile 3 all the way down to mile 7. You built up some speed for the peninsula. And we're going to have a great group of volunteers and spectators out there. They'll make the runners feel like the wind was no big deal.
You know, I tell you what, you talk about having good weather. We thought it was going to be really bad. You and I got together at the beginning of the week on Tuesday and said, it's going to rain. I can't believe it. The weather gods blessed us.
Sean Toomey. As a member of the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, we wouldn't be even able to put on this race if it weren't for the stewardship of the amazing Toomey family, right? And we lost Sean a little over 10 years ago. We lost Fred this past year. It's been a really difficult year for the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick. But Marianne, Maureen, and Katie, they do their brother and their father proud. And it's just, we're here, and they're looking down on us, and they're giving us this great weather today, really.
All right. Well, Dan, I know you got a lot of work to do here. You got to shake everybody's hand when they come across the finish line. One of the things that this guy does right to the very end, he'll be here till about 2:15 shaking hands, I would say, right?
I do. 15 years ago, I didn't know what to do in that time between when the race starts. And one of Mike Thompson, our equipment guy, said, just thank the people who come across the finish line, because without them, we wouldn't be here. And we do, and it's the best thing we do. And people are excited. Some people are tired. Some people don't want a hug or a handshake, but some people really love it. So we'll continue to do that.
Fist pump, whatever it takes. It'll work.
Yes,
there you
exactly,
go.
Exactly.
It'll work. Dan McCarthy from the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, always a pleasure.
Ed, the pleasure's all mine, my friend. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
And you can see Zach panning on your screen, and the runners in that next group, the 3 runners a little bit further behind, including his teammates, Ben Kendall and J.P. Flavin, quite a bit back as we make it here initially through the opening stages of the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. And this is an impressive start. I have to say that. As you can see, panning way ahead. You mentioned meters. I would say that's, if we want to convert it to yards for the American folks here, I would say it's 100 yards at least to the next group of runners. And we make our way up an area called Nauset Street here in the city of New Bedford. And then once you get to Rockdale Avenue, we'll turn. Here's the first hill you really do see here, though, as you head toward Rockdale Avenue. So it'll be interesting to see the next couple of miles and how the performance from Zach Panning is affected by the hills.
Joining us this morning is the mayor of the city of New Bedford. That's John Mitchell. And Mayor, a wonderful day here for the city.
This is great. It's like mid-50s, which is like the perfect temperature. As I told the race contestants, it's a little windy, and I couldn't help but think of the old Irish saying, Ed, which you're familiar with, no doubt, that may the wind always be at your back. I think today it'll be at the runner's backs about half the time, right? And when it's not, they need to just plow right through because it is a little breezy.
So the other part of that saying is the wind's in your face. Okay,
Yes.
so now that we get that all straightened out, you know, one of the nice things about this, though, is that it goes through all parts of our city, not just downtown, but the north and south ends, too.
Yeah, right. It's a great race to engage. The course is such that it engages the entire city. It goes through a variety of neighborhoods. Obviously, 13 miles, you can cover a lot of ground. But people, the great part is that people come out for it, especially when the weather's helpful, right? But it's a way for New Bedford to show itself and all of its forms and every facet of the city. And when you're a runner, as you know, it's great when people come out and cheer you on. I mean, it seemed like if you're standing on the sideline, it's not a big deal, but the runners love it. So we encourage people to come on out and cheer. And our hope is that the runners will come on out and spend a lot of money in our downtown afterward.
That's one of the nice things about that is obviously the business side. But the other thing is you do get a lot of folks along the race course that are cheering on the runners.
That's right. And we have lots of people to go even beyond cheering. We have lots of folks who will set up drink stands and whatnot. Sometimes with adult beverages down on the peninsula. We've seen that, so runners can partake if they wish, right? Not exactly a performance-enhancing drug, but if they want that, that's available to them. But the other thing is we see parties set up, especially on County Street. People will set up bands and whatnot, so it becomes a big party for the city, which is a lot of fun.
Well, we've been blessed with good weather. The first time I think you and I have done an interview here on before this race or during this race, and I have to say it's the first time you and I didn't have heavy coats on and probably a hat or two on.
I know. I recall the day, maybe 10 years ago now, when it was 22 degrees at the race start, and the water was for the runners was starting to freeze over, and that was decidedly unpleasant. This is far better.
All right, we've picked up the first women leader here. We've passed the 2-mile mark, and we're starting to go up the second hill on Hathaway Road. Jacqueline Goggin from Boston has the early lead right now. We don't have any splits, Tom, because we've picked her up after 2 miles, so we'll see what she's doing right now. You were surprised to see her right now at the start.
Yes, the guys she's running with are probably running 1:12. It's not a pace that will threaten the record, but it certainly is phenomenally good. This will be interesting to see if she can maintain this. Jessie Carden is back there, and I think is fitter, but I'm surprised she's not up front with the Goggin. Well, wait a minute. There she is now.
Yep.
She is there.
We've got a second woman right here, too, right next to her.
That is Jessie Carden.
Jessie Carden is right there, too. So we got 2 women in this group. And it's not uncommon, Tom, for the women to be in with a pack of men either at the start.
Right. They're all the same fitness. And also the women do benefit by having these big guys blocking the wind.
Right.
Very, very clever of them, yes. So Jessie is in there.
And remember, as we said in the warm-up, Jessie is 2 years ago. Jessie finished second in this race overall, but Jacqueline Goggin is in the pack here, and it's hard to pick her out right now because there is a pretty good pack of runners right now.
Yeah, I think her credentials are not as serious as Jessie Carden's. We'll see if she lasts.
We'll see if she lasts. We're coming up to 3 miles, so this will be our first chance to see what the splits are right now. So we're making our way up the final hill now on Hathaway Road, and we've got 2 women. Jess Carden is one of the women. She is a slight lead over Jacqueline Goggin from Boston, and they are right now next to us. We passed the 3-mile mark again. I didn't get a split on that, Tom, because we had passed it before I saw the time. So they're right here on our side right now. the two leaders right now. For the women, I don't see a third woman anywhere in sight right now. See Jess taking a look at her time right now.
Yeah, and Jessie Carden's definitely pulling away, and the other Jacqueline Goggin is hanging in the pack of men.
Yeah.
For protection from the wind.
And I don't know if Jacqueline's run this before. Obviously, Jessie has, so she's going to know the course and know what to. There's going to be some tact about how she's going to handle the race.
Certainly an advantage to know the course.
Yeah.
We continue to see Zach Panning leading by, I'd say now, well over 300 yards as he's made just such an outstanding start to today's race. He's just in control. We do see his teammates, JP Flavin and Ben Kendall, back a distance here now. They are within range, or at least we can see them now, but they're way back there, and no indication at this point of Zach Panning losing his stride or starting to have that lead diminished by his teammates. So just an outstanding performance. He continues to stretch it out and running here along Rockdale Avenue. Again, a slight grade here for a stretch. We'll get toward Buttonwood Park, then it'll be flat for a bit, then we'll make the turn and go around the waterfront where we'll see if the wind is a factor, but you still see him at an outstanding pace thus far.
And joining us right now on our coverage is Shane Burgo. He is the president of the City Council. And Councilor Burgo, nice to see you once again.
Yes, likewise. You know, it's an amazing day today. The sun is finally shining. I think it's a great day for running. Not that I do much running, but I'm always excited on half marathon day. I know a lot of people aren't excited about the street shutting down, but I know for an economic development standpoint, it's great to see so many people in the streets of New Bedford for our businesses and booming. And it's a mark for the start of spring. Right. We're so thankful to the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick for all the work that they do in our community, and really for all of the work, not just for the half marathon, but everything else that goes on in our community.
You know, I'm big on the carbo loading before the marathon. That's about all I do. And, you know, I have to tell you, this young man right here, I see him quite often at a local eatery that he and I are both frequent. Usually on Sundays, too, I might
yes,
add.
The West End Grill, yes. And I'm like, it's going to be difficult to get there today, but that's a place that we could probably run by. But yes, for sure, yes. And I'm like, I won't be able to run by today, but I'll definitely be stopping by after the race to celebrate with the runners after they win and their victory afterwards, yes.
You know, when you see something like this, I think the great thing about the half marathon is it takes in all of New Bedford, not just the downtown, the north end, south end. Everybody gets involved with it. That's what makes it such a great citywide event.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think that's what all the different gems, like our beach fronts, our waterfront, our downtown areas, just like you said, I think it encompasses all of our city, as much as it might upset a lot of our residents because it breaks up their Sunday. But I think it, like you said, it involves all our cities. And for those who might be joining us for the first time, I just met a woman from Pennsylvania that's joining us running for the first time in the half marathon. You really get to see all of New Bedford's beautiful, but really the key points of New Bedford that you get to see, that, and especially on a beautiful sunny day like today, it's really wonderful to be able to showcase that.
And the best part of all is once the race is over, a lot of people do stay in the downtown area, go to some of our local restaurants and have a bite to eat before they head out.
Yes, and that's wonderful, and we want them to make sure they come back not just on half marathon day, but every day throughout the year, because we know we have some of the best restaurants and best bars and eateries.
So we've made the turn on to Rockdale now, Tom, and Jessie Carden has the lead. Jacqueline Goggin is still in second. I still see both of them plainly in our view. I don't see a third woman right now, so, and as you said, we were looking up information on Jacqueline. We really don't have a lot of stuff right now on her, but she's holding her own for the first few miles here.
Well, she's certainly racing aggressively. She was tucked in behind this pack of guys and now is taken off and seems to be thinking about chasing down Jessie Carden. So we may have some drama here.
I know that when Jessie ran 2 years ago and she finished second to Megan Krifchin, it was the 6 mile mark that Megan made her move. Last year, I know the two leaders, the duel ended at 8 miles, really. That's when the move was made. So it'll be interesting to see strategically how Jessie handles it. Again, she knows the course. I don't know if Jacqueline does. Doesn't mean she hasn't run it in practice or anything like that, but we just don't know.
Well, all of these serious contenders study these things.
Yeah.
They don't just show up blind, so they know what's coming.
Zach Panning, number 1537, continues to lead on the men's side of things. Not quite halfway through the race yet. We'll wait till about the halfway mile marker, and then we'll send it over to the women's truck again for their view on what they're seeing on the women's side of things.
On the women's side of things, they're just passing the 5 mile point, and we've got a neck-and-neck race so far, Larry.
That's excellent for this time of the race. They should be on Rockdale Avenue, just past the Lawler Library.
Jessie Carlin, along with Jacqueline Gogan, they are our co-leaders. Let's find out more about this exciting race as they continue along. Let's head out to the women's truck. Here's Jim Marshall.
All right, we are coming up to the 5 mile marker here of the 2025 Women's Half Marathon. We've got 2 women still together. We have Jacqueline Gogan from Boston, Jessie Carden. Both have been together or near each other for most of the start of this race right now. And we're coming up to the 5 mile split, so I want to make sure we get a good check of the time right now as to where they are as far as time goes. And it's about 28 minutes for both women right now, Tom, which you're looking at that a little over 5 minute miles.
Yeah. Jacqueline Gogan has run a marathon in 2:24. Jessie Carden's marathon time is 2:33. Jacqueline Gogan has a half marathon time of 1:10. So both these are faster than Jessie Carden's.
panning with a huge lead right now, just under 30 minutes, past the 10K mark. And he's on pace right now for time just around 1 hour and 4 minutes.
And Jim, you mentioned that Zach ran in the Olympic trials, had a lead for a good amount of that race, right? And so performing like this here today, is he one of the runners to be looking for at the Boston Marathon?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, he's one of the athletes. He's going to be looking for certainly a top 10 finish. He'll be one of the top Americans there, along with Connor Mance. He'll be right up there. One of the top 3, 4, 5 Americans in that race for sure. But they all want to be the top American for sure. But just to get up there and compete, with the top in the world, just gives you a lot of exposure. He's certainly one guy to look for in the future. He'll be certainly one of the guys to watch again when the 2028 Olympics come around for LA.
This race, as we come closer to 6 miles now, this race has had just 2 women. And again, we haven't seen a third woman in our view for a while here. Actually, we've never seen a third woman since we started the race. These 2 have been the 2 that we've seen.
If these 2 are the only 2 professionals, it's not surprising that there should be a great gap. I mean, their job is running, and it's what they do full time, and the others have to go to work tomorrow morning.
So this is the 10K mark right here as we just crossed the 10K. I see the clock here, 34:53 was the time. Again, both Jacqueline Goggin has a lead on Jess Carden, but I wouldn't call it a huge lead right now. They're right there. And they're coming down another, the downhill continues here on Rockdale, which is, as everybody has said, is the speed part of the course right now. And I do recognize the crowds here cheering on these runners as they're participating. And as I said not that long ago, it's always a good feeling when you get the runners cheering you on.
It is that time of the race where we go to perhaps the furthest point away from here, and that's going down to the waterfront. And the waterfront can be kind or it could be very unkind depending on the wind. What do you think about today's race so far, Larry?
Well, that water stop at the West Beach bathhouse, that's a mouthful, is going to have the wind holding them back. 9 miles will be at the corner of Brock Avenue and South Rodney French. When they go down that little downgrade and take a left turn onto East Rodney French back, that's when the wind is going to be right in their face.
Yeah, that's when it's really going to be interesting. Let's see just how interesting it is right now. The 3 favorites that were leading going into this, and still the 3 favorites are leading going down to the beach. Let's see if that's still the case. Let's join Joe Cabral on the men's truck.
he's running sub 5 minutes on every mile.
Yeah, especially on the road, in these kind of conditions, running about 4:50 pace. But again, I mean, this is also one of the best marathoners in the United States. I mean, that goes to show you, that how much talent this guy has. But look at the wind now as we approach here on West Rodney French. You can really feel it blowing in his face right now, and you can see his cadence slow a little bit. See his stride shorten a little bit. He's pumping his arms as we approach the 8-mile mark here, Joe.
Yeah, we have the ocean obviously off to our left here on West Rodney French, as you mentioned, and you can see the waves. There are some white caps out there because of the wind.
Jacqueline just gave a look back to see where Jessie was, to see how she's doing, and Jessie is not to be seen as we take the turn here, as we are coming up to the 8-mile mark of the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon Women Race. Jessie has taken the turn now.
And it's inspirational if you can turn in a race and look back and see your competition is not close and that you're pulling away.
It's a good feeling, that's for sure. It's a good feeling.
Of course, the opposite is the Godzilla feeling, because you look back and they're coming after you.
Again, she is really comfortable right now. And again, we're coming up to the 8-mile mark, and 7 miles, 40, it was 39 and change. So again, they're doing about under 6-minute miles at this point, or Jacqueline, as I should say.
Oh, both well under 6-minute pace.
Yep. Eight miles right now, Tom. 44:22.
Yeah, so that's 5:30, 5:40 a mile. And she's run that for a whole marathon under ideal circumstances. This is the wind, so it's slower. But this seems to be well within her ability.
Joe and Jim back in the men's truck. Zach Panning in first place by a mile. Literally, it might be a mile at this point. We don't even know. 15:37, Zach Panning. And Jim, we got to give you credit. We talked prior to the race. We had a brief open where we said it's probably a wide open field. Then we found out that we had some late entries, 3 names. They were all early on in a group, but not for very long. But one of the names you gave us was Zach Panning, number 1537, and he's been in the lead throughout, and the distance continues to expand. We have no idea. We've had some straight stretches, and we don't know who's behind Zach Panning at this point as he continues to just open up the lead and be in firm control of the New Bedford Half Marathon in 2025, the 46th time that this race has been run. We obviously had COVID impact, and that means that we can't really say any more annual, but when it was allowed to happen, we've had the race, and last couple of years we've just had dominant performances. Looks like 2025 will be another one of those years, as Zach Panning is showing no indication of slowing down.
Right. And now that he has he has a little bit of a crosswind as we approach here on Fort Tabor. We're going to turn back onto Rodney French. He's going to have a tailwind for the last 3.5 miles of this race, so I'm sure he's really looking forward to that. You can almost see his cadence really open up after having run that 5:12 9th mile. But we're going to turn here a little bit. He's going to have a little bit of a tailwind as we pass Fort Tabor, the beautiful Fort Tabor here in New Bedford, and he just looks great. You know, like you can see his stride looks more bouncy now, you know, than it was like when he had that wind in his face for several miles, and he just bouncing along right now, and he looks very comfortable right now, and he's going to be our runaway winner here if nothing extraordinary happens.
It seems to me that the leader has slowed. Jessie Carden's getting closer, and these guys who are around have passed her. And it's probably not because they're picking up the pace, but she's slowing down. So we may be back to a contentious race.
Well, this last year at this time, this is where Anna Oser put on the afterburners and put away her opponents at this point last year at the 8 mile mark.
That was Holly Reese, yes.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how it looks like we're going to have a closer race for a little longer here. All right, Jessie has made her move. She was far back as we made the turn onto West Rodney French, and now Jessie has taken the lead with a pretty strong kick that she had. Jacqueline is still there right now, but it's Jessie in the lead as we're coming up to the 9 mile mark. Again, both runners still look good. You're right, Jacqueline, it looks like she dropped off a little bit, but don't get me wrong, she still looks good right now.
Well, Jess had dropped off. Jacqueline took a lead. Now Jessie Carden has the lead.
And Jacqueline's tucked herself in behind some runners too right now.
Yeah. Things may take a turn at the turn.
It is a two-woman race as it has been, and we are on Rodney French right now, making our way. We're off of West Beach. So the wind's not in front of them anymore, and it's Jessie and Jacqueline, with Jessie with a little lead right now.
And it seems that Jessie is pulling away, definitely. And unless something difficult happens to Jessie, I think she's got this.
9 miles, Jessie's coming up in 50:30.
There is no one to be seen behind Zach Panning as he's just having this wonderful performance, outstanding performance. Jim, what's the record here in the city of New Bedford for the New Bedford Half Marathon?
Yeah, the record goes back 40 years, and that was set by Olympian from Great Britain, Jeff Smith, a resident of Mattapoisett for many, many years. He went on to win the Boston Marathon that year when he ran the course record here, but yeah, that's a 1:02:05 time, so that was set 40 years ago. That course is still in place, and we're not really going to approach that today, but you know, he's going to be probably somewhere just in the 104 range today, I anticipate, you know, with his cadence right now, and just looking at his splits, just under 44 minutes through 9 miles. He's probably going to run probably close to like 4:45 or so for this 10th mile, and we'll see how he does on the hills.
Jacqueline Goggin has made this a race. She is all leaving. We're coming up to the 10-mile mark, and this race it's a race right now.
The two of them are right together, and in this sport, there's also sort of this love-hate thing going on. I mean, you need the other runners in order to stimulate yourself to race hard, but you also want to beat them. So both those things are going on at the same time. Jacqueline has taken off now. Does Jesse have something left? And what will happen on the hills?
Because you've got to figure both of these women have made a push to get back into the race. So you've made moves, so you've exerted energy. Like you were just saying, you've made moves and you've burned some energy.
We've just passed the 11-mile mark, and it's Zach Panning. Zach Panning and Zach Panning. That's about all we can say. We don't know anything else other than that. So Zach Panning just in control here, running free and easy, Jim. I mean, that's one of the things you see. If you were to just look at him, again, you've mentioned on several occasions maybe the cadence down a bit, but what you see as far as his arm position and just the consistency in his stride, really, that's remained unchanged.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, he looks great. You know, just clicked off another 4:45 mile, past 11 miles in 53:16. He looks great. You know, obviously having a little bit of a tailwind, a little bit of a cross now, but yeah, he looks great. We're going to turn here in just a moment, and we'll go up the hill. We'll see him really dig down and go up the hill, and I'm sure he's looking for a sub 104 performance here, which is it could be in the cards today. So anything under 104, I'm sure he'd be very satisfied and with these kind of conditions today. But he's going to turn a little bit and have a little bit of a tailwind going up the hill, and we'll really see him go to his arms now and shorten his stride a little bit. But again, we can't even see second or third place. Good enthusiastic crowd here too. So here we are, about just under a mile from the finish, and you can see his cadence slow a little bit, but he's still pressing hard, going to his arms a little bit, and we're going to go up one more little hill, and then we'll have a little downhill finish. So, our runaway winner, Zach Panning from Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Yeah, so it's Zach Panning as we continue to make our way toward the final, I can't even call it stretch, final mile here at this point, as we've really just seen an outstanding performance from Zach Panning. We've been calling his name throughout the race, and again, in preparation here for the Boston Marathon, working on really simulating conditions here in the city of New Bedford, and then being able to translate those to what you'll find for the Boston Marathon. So, Jim, if he were to be able to run the marathon at this same pace, what would that equate to?
Yeah, it would be around 2 hours and 8 minutes. So I don't think in Boston particularly, the times aren't really all that important. I mean, it's all about competing, especially over the last 6-7 miles of that race. How are you going to feel, going into the last 6-7 miles of the race? I mean, like I said, he's run a 101.25 half marathon on a very flat course. I mean, today he's going to run probably just under 104. But again, 208 marathon pace on a day like today with the wind, the headwinds that we had, is just a great effort. So, and he looks great. We got a little bit of a crowd now cheering him on about a half mile from the finish of the race here, and we're going to turn the corner in just a moment. He's going to go downhill, and I'm sure he's going to be a happy guy.
Well, moving very nicely and very easily is Zach Panning out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. He is our leader. He is all by his lonesome. There's not another soul in sight as he comes down to the last 50 yards of this race. Larry, 103, maybe 104 at worst, 103.47.
That's a great time today.
103.47.
This is not a race that's conducive to a fast time with these conditions, that's for sure. He had an outstanding race in the Olympic trials. It'll be over a minute, over a minute.
Incredible. Justin, he doesn't even look like we see him down in front of us here having a little chat here with some of the race officials. Doesn't even look like he's broken a sweat yet. My goodness.
Okay, we have our second place runner coming through, and it looks like it is J.P. Flavin.
Yeah, this is J.P. Flavin. He ran the race 2 years ago. He's going to finish in second place. Looks like he broke away from that pack he was running with. When we last saw him at the 5-6 mile mark. But J.P. Flavin's going to finish in second place here. You can see the just cruising on here. But JP's going to spend the week here in Boston, training because he's running Boston Marathon as well. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 finish for the Hanson Brooks teams. It looks like in third place is going to be Ben Kendall as well. So we're going to get a 1-2-3 finish for the Hanson Brooks team.
Three-minute difference between the winner and the second place runner, and now here we're seeing about another, I would say, a minute or so.
Ben Kendall will finish third in 106.58. How about that? One town produces our top three here this afternoon. I don't know what they feed those boys out there, but it must be pretty good.
All right, we are moving up County Street right now. 106.53. Jacqueline was in the lead at 12 miles. Jessie is the woman right behind her. There is a little gap, but it's not a huge gap. We have a runner going, we have somebody driving down the street here that's closed. But it looks like Jessie right now this is it. She's going to make a move right now.
This is a do or die moment for Jessie. If she can catch Jacqueline on the crest of this hill, I think Jessie has a better kick on the downhill, and that will be the end of it.
And this is exciting right now because
she's getting closer.
She is moving up. We haven't had a close race like this in a long time between women, and this is amazing. You've run 12 miles. And you've both taken punches, you've both given punches, and Jessie is certainly making her way up the hill right now. Jacqueline is trying to hold her off. She looks back though.
Very encouraging for Carden to see Carden look back.
And we'll see, here we go, at the 12.5 miles, it is, at 12.5 miles, it looks like Jessie is going to overtake her. We're coming up almost to the 12.4 mile mark. They're right there. And Jessie's passed her. At 12.4 miles, we have a new leader. And now we'll see what Jacqueline has left in the tank. She has run a fantastic race. Both women have run a fantastic race, but it's going to be interesting to see what, if anything, Jacqueline has left in the tank as we make our way. Less than a mile to go in this race, Tom. An unbelievable women's race coming to a close here for the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. Jim Marshall and Tom Dedarian in the women's truck. But let's go to the finish line for Ed Pereira and Larry Finnerty as they call this race the finish line of the 2025 New Bedford Women's Half Marathon.
We have our leader for the woman coming up right now. Now, here she is coming up. We're going to wait for a time. Here's going to be about... Jessie Carden. Guess from where? Rochester Hills, Michigan. 112, I think it was 48, something like that, I believe. Can you believe this? The top 3 men are from Rochester Hills, Michigan, and the top female is from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Jacqueline Goggin was actually in a nip and tuck race at 12.4 mile mark with Jessie Carden, but Jessie Carden comes away with the victory. Here this afternoon, a clean sweep for the folks from Rochester Hills, Michigan. It was well worth the wait and well worth the drive to come down here.
A great race today, Tom. This is the closest race we've had since you and I have been doing the race for the past couple of years.
So many turnovers.
It was a back and forth affair. I think a lot of it, like you said during the race, was strategic. Jessie Carden, though, gets her first place finish. Jacqueline Goggin, a tremendous effort, a close second.
Yeah, well, Goggin had a lead early, then Carden took a lead, then Goggin took it back, and then Carden took it back, and then it was mind-blowing.
Jessie took the lead at about the 12.4 mile part of the race. And I mean, as you said, if she was going to make the move, she had to do it at that last stretch up the hill, and she did.
Yeah, she knew what to do, and she did it.
And I don't think that, it didn't look to me, it seemed like she won the race. It doesn't seem like Jackie lost it. She had fans on the course, but she seemed to be running her pace. Their pace was 5:30-ish.
Well, these runners know each other and know each other's abilities, and Goggin probably knew that Carden had a better kick and was a stronger cross-country runner and would be formidable on the hill, so wanted to get a lead before the hill, and she did that. That's what she had to do, and it didn't work, and Carden did what she had to do, and it did work.
But that's the strategy, right? As you're running, you're sitting there betting, I don't have the kick she does, I've got to make her earn that kick.
Oh, that's right. That's the way it goes. Not everyone knows what to do, and then not everyone who knows what to do can actually do it.
And it's interesting too, I was looking back, the time, Anna Oster's time last year was 1:13:40, and unofficially it was about 1:12 for Jessie today. It was a fast time.
Yes, fast time because the two of them were pushing each other.
And I should also mention too, Orla Rocha of Peabody, we saw her, she was the 3rd place finisher. She came up about a minute and a half after both of those women had finished.
Yeah, she comes from a family of Roaches in Peabody who are fantastic runners. There's Fernando and Jose and Karina, so it's a great family, and she's a recent college grad, so she'll be back, and maybe we're going to be seeing her next year in the front.
What are your takeaways from today here, as just for a final assessment here? A good race today, good crowd, good weather. What were your thoughts?
This city of New Bedford is so welcoming to runners. The roads are closed, and they've been cleaned. They've been swept. It's just a perfect race, and it's because the city of New Bedford goes out of its way to be so hospitable.
It's great working with you as always, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Your experience is unbelievable. Ethan Lopez, our videographer, thanks to him. Kevin and Jim in the truck who drive, and I'll tell you what, as Tom and I will explain, it's not that easy to drive a women's truck. It's easy on the men's truck because there's nobody in front of you, but you're trying to dodge the men runners here, and these guys did a fantastic job. My thanks to them. But Tom, again, thanks to you. That's going to do it for the women's race here for the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. I'm Jim Marshall, Tom Derderian, and we'll go back to the finish line and this post-marathon ceremony.
Welcome everybody to City Hall, and congratulate all of you on a great race. This is and welcome back, some of you. I know some of you have been here, done that, and in some cases been here, done that, and done better this time around. But it was a great race. We were able to watch a fair amount of it, and good weather. And I hope the wind was at least a little bit bearable down on the south end. It's probably it's enough said. Yeah. So I just want to say a couple of words of just thanks again, and the risk of repeating what I said out on the podium. I want to thank everybody who help prepare the race today. I think it went really, really well. The Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, who are represented by Chris Donnelly here today, have been running the race for, 15 years now? 15 years now. They took over for the Greater New Bedford Track Club, and they've done a great job. It always more or less coincides with St. Patrick's Day weekend, so that therein lies the Irish connection. But they were able to pull in a lot of volunteers to make this happen. And I always speak for City Council President Burgo when I say we really appreciate all the work that our city employees do. It is a lot of work, and I hope you didn't only not step in a pothole along the way, but didn't even see one, because they're pretty fastidious about that. But also the police presence, so that everybody feels safe, and all the others who set up the course to make it work. So we're really pleased with it, and we hope everybody gets a chance to enjoy their time here in our city. We're very proud of this event, and it's one that's worked so well for so long. So with all that, I won't keep you in suspense. We're really excited about all the winners here today, and we have something for each of you. And what we ordinarily do is we start with the female finishers first in reverse order, and then the male finishers, the male runners. So without any further ado, we will begin. So for the third place finisher in the women's category this year was Orla Rocha from Peabody, Massachusetts, who came in at 1:15 and 15 seconds. Congratulations, Orla.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got a picture?
Thank you so much. We'll do a picture here. You guys can jump in. Sorry, we'll go ahead. You go in the middle.
And one more. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Now, Will, I have to bear saying that. So I know that PBD has a Portuguese population, and of course, New Bedford is sort of the Portuguese capital of America. So when we saw a name like Rocha on the list, we're like, look at that. There's an immediate connection, right?
She's from Ireland.
She's from Ireland?
Yes.
No way. Are you from Ireland?
Well, the father-in-law is from New Bedford.
Oh, wow.
And
So.
she has a wonderful aunt too.
Where? Who?
Oh, that's good. People are gonna. Hey, look, people are going to question the integrity of the race after that, but congratulations, that's really awesome. All right, coming in second in the women's division with a time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 8 seconds from Boston, Massachusetts, and I hope I don't if I mispronounce, let me know, is Jacqueline Gahn, who...
Thank you.
Oops. Thank you, Jacqueline. All right, and and now there's first place. So the winner of the women's division of the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon is somebody who came in second 2 years ago, and who is originally from Massachusetts, but she trains now in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and she's a 3-time NCAA D3 All-American, so she's pretty good. So no surprise here. But the winner this year is Jessie Carden, who, as I said, now trains in Rochester Hills. Jessie.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, just by a show of hands, who's training now, who's living now in Rochester Hills? It's all you guys? All right, I think I mentioned when you guys were here last year, the year before, that your mayor, Brian Barnett's a buddy of mine, and he's, I'm sure we'll send some pics his way. All right, so then we'll go to the men's division. And so third place this year with a time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 58 seconds. A gentleman who's training in Rochester Hills, and that is none other than Ben Kendall. Ben. Great job. All right. So second place, again, someone who trains in Rochester Hills. There's going to be a certain commonality here with, came in at a time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 27 seconds, and who also finished second in 2023 is none other than J.P. Flavin, who is originally from Toms River, New Jersey, and now again lives in Michigan. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So next up, also again training in Rochester Hills. We got to get a training, Olympic caliber training facility here in New Bedford. This is what I'm learning here. So it was originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and went to Grand Valley State. Finished 6th in the Olympic trial race in Orlando for the men's marathon. 2-time NCAA D2 national champion, and finished 11th in the 2022 Chicago Marathon. a really accomplished runner. No surprise that he performed so well here in New Bedford. But the winner of the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon with a time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 47 seconds, despite all the wind out there, is Zach Panning. Zach. So, last thing I just want to say is, again, I want to thank you, Chris, for all the work that you do, and the rest of the Friendly Sons for putting the race together. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't felt the Southern Massachusetts hospitality, it's you're missing something here, because these guys really want to do a whole lot of work to make it happen. And we just hope you had a great experience today. We welcome feedback. We want to get better at what we do, but we're so proud to have watched all of you really high performers out there making it happen. And so congratulations on a great race. I think we're going to take a picture, a group photo. All right.
What a day here at the New Bedford Half Marathon, and what a day for the folks from Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Rochester Hills meets New Bedford's Mills. And the wind. It was a day where you really earned anything you did today.
Zach Panning is the men's winner from Rochester Hills, and a very good time there, 1:03:47. And I know my good friend here, Larry, has what that would average out to.
Oh, that's very fast, very fast. They're below 4 or 5 minute miles. These times are all unofficial till we verify them. But I mean, the people from Rochester Hills, they were all training partners. They're on the same team. And seems like everybody decided to come to New Bedford. I don't know if this is a warm-up for Boston, but they did come on a day where they didn't get a wind-aided time. They worked through it because it was a strong
I think they were
wind.
running into the wind today more than anything
Coming
else.
back from the 9 mile mark, it was into the wind.
All right, our second place finisher with J.P. Flavian from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And in third, it was Ben Kendall, he too from Rochester Hills, Michigan. On the other side for the woman, our winner today, I know it's hard to believe, another one from Rochester Hills, Michigan, Jessie Carden, with a time of 1 minute and 1 hour, 12 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah, just a correction, that wind was aiding them coming home once they made the turn at the 9 mile mark, which is right where the cable TV is. They go down the hill and take a left and head north. That's where the wind would bring them back home. If it was right behind them, usually it's a glancing wind off the left side or the right side, but it would be helping them to finish the race today.
Well, the best part of this race is yet to come. This is when everybody else starts coming through. And these are folks that are running to help different organizations at the same time as looking for their own personal times.
Absolutely. Personal time is important to most people, but also if you are raising money as you do at Boston, many people get into Boston because they signed up to a promise to raise a certain amount of money, and they get a number because Boston was an official qualifier, and it was something that you really wanted to do if you were a long distance runner. If you couldn't qualify by your time, you could get in if you promised to raise money for charity.
And getting into the Boston Marathon certainly is a part of this, that is for sure. A lot of folks to thank for today's coverage. First of all, in the women's truck, Jim Marshall and Tom Derderian, and of course Ethan Lopez was there making sure everything ran smoothly with the video. Now for the men, Joe Cabral and Jim Dandino, great to hear you guys, and Augusto Freitas was the videographer. And over here, my good friend Dr. Larry Finnerty, and of course Sue Richard, making sure that we got in place and did everything right, or as close to it as we possibly could. Also a couple of other folks helping along too, including Dana DeBarris. We can't forget Dana, who was also on the course and doing some wonderful things. So final comments here today, Larry.
Well, it's nice to work with professionals when we do this. It's always a tough day, wind-wise, weather-wise, and we had a little of that today, but everybody who came out today enjoyed a great day, and those who had done a good time today really earned it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to work with you, my friend, and we'll do it again next year. What do you think?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right. Well, if you'll be here, I'll come join you then. All right. So that just about wraps things up here from the New Bedford Half Marathon. Once again, our winner from Rochester Hills, Michigan, it was Zach Panning. And for the women, also from Rochester Hills, Michigan, it was Jessie Carden. For our whole gang that did a great job out here today, thank you for joining us for the 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. I'm Ed Pereira. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
The Great American Road Race continuing on a great day for running 13.1 through the whaling city of New Bedford, Massachusetts for 2025 New Bedford Half Marathon. Give it up for James Soguanti, New Bedford, a local runner, making good on his home turf. How about Eileen McVight-Vicker, Nantucket, checking in. And representing Bedford, Mass, Sarah McGuire is a finisher. Mock and Nicole Harrington go to the finish line. How about Ellis Gamache and Josh Brockman and Caitlin Muller?